Oh gosh, it's happening.
Hello.
Hello. What is up? Can y'all hear us? Yes? No? Maybe? Hello, Hallie, Rebecca. Hello from New York. No, not the city part. Hope you all had a great vacation.
We did.
Thank you. Okay, it has been a minute, so we're trying to just navigate this for a second. All right.
We finally have fiber internet. And so we thought, well, we have fiber internet. Let's try to go live.
The naked gardeners. Woohoo for awesome internet.
Yeah.
Hi from New Zealand. Yay, you're live and I'm cooking dinner. My kitchen is overflowing with tomatoes. Hello from West Virginia. Good evening, you two and everybody else in the house. Hi, Taylor from Tennessee. Jennifer from Tennessee. What's up? Jesse from Willowbrook. So you guys can see us fine. Is this really what's happening right now? Minnesota, Wisconsin. Hey, Debbie from Florida.
We're excited that we have high-speed internet. It's not all grainy, blurry on our end. Hope it's not on your end. We're just not used to this.
This is life-giving.
Yeah. We may do this more often.
What is this life? We've been living under a rock. Hi, Teresa from California, Florida, California. Happy Sunday. It is hot here in Corpus Christi, Texas. I pulled up my crispy plants yesterday. I know. As soon as we got back from vacation, I went out into the greenhouse and ripped out all the cucumbers. That's a big part of our next week plan is amending the beds, ripping out all the tomatoes. And the only other thing we have in there right now are peppers and ginger.
Yeah, we're behind.
We are.
Big time.
All right. It's the best it's ever been, Jesse says. Okay, your
Thanks,
picture
buddy.
looks incredible. Whoa, you're coming through good. This is crazy.
The joy of high-speed internet. Wow.
Hey, Justine from Missouri. I met you at the Tulip Festival and chatted with you with the camera. Your video quality is great. Excited to see you guys on live.
We're excited to be here.
I have fresh bread in the oven here in Phoenix. Oh, that's awesome. So how cool. Welcome, everyone. Hey, we have absolutely zero agenda for this live. We just, for the first time, actually have the ability to go live. Usually, connection gets lost. The last Instagram live I tried to do, I lost service 3 different times. And I was just like, forget it. So, yeah, if you guys have questions, leave some questions in the chat. We just wanted to kind of catch up with you guys, answer any questions. Content has been so crazy this summer because all of our kids are home. We had no daycare, no summer programs, anything like that for the kids. They're just here with us, which is great.
Daddy daycare.
It's also, we realized, very challenging. And so we've been talking about that as far as what next summer looks like. I feel like our productivity in work has gone down a lot.
Especially around content.
Right. So school starts back for Charlie after Labor Day. They go back really late. She's in a private school. And then Junie, our old nanny who used to work for us when we lived in Quitman, has agreed to watch June 3 days a week along with her 2 kids at her homestead down the road, which will be good. It'll give us set days to be able to crank out content and do stuff without, wiping butts and, and all that fun stuff. So we miss you guys. All that to say, we have really missed you guys. I feel like I have felt it a lot lately.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Hi, Ruth from Southeast Texas, Auburn, California.
Brandy, good night, ask from California, how is your health?
How is my health? That's a great question. We're just jumping in hot, huh?
Yeah.
So I feel better. I have started working out again. I've stayed up with my regimen with my holistic practitioner. I feel like in that aspect, I've done great. This week, when we were on vacation, marked a year post my surgery. And about 2 weeks ago, I started having some really, really intense pain. So my right ovary, they removed my right ovary with the tumor. And I, went to my follow-up. They said there was no follow-up, like they met with the specialist and was just like, we don't really feel like we need to do any follow-ups as far as annually.
It's because she had never seen that before.
Right. But if you feel pain, let us know. And so I told Nathan, it was to the point where it was a little bit alarming to me. This side, it was on my left side. When I felt a lot of the pain, it was on the right side. And so we have been teetering around what to do. Nathan is in.
We're not teeter around with anything. She's going to go have an ultrasound. She just doesn't like the fact of going and getting an ultrasound, but we want to be safe.
No, sorry. Yeah. So I would say I've been in great spirits and have felt great until the last 2 weeks, starting to have very similar pains to when I did before, very intense, kind of just knock the wind out of you. But then it's so weird. It comes, and then when it's gone, it's gone. And so for me, unless that intense pain lingers, kind of like it did when I landed in the ER, I just tend to forget about it. It's like, oh, well, I powered through it for however long it was. It's not that big of a deal. And I was kind of under the conclusion that I don't really want to go get it checked out. I don't think I was mentally in a place to really, we're a year out. I'm finally starting to feel like myself again. I think there was a lot that I was just trying to process mentally there. And Nathan over here was like, oh, you're going, whether you like it or not. So that's on my list to do, is to schedule an ultrasound tomorrow and see. So if you guys would just be prayerful that it is nothing and it is fine, we would greatly appreciate that. So yeah, that's kind of an update on my health. Yep. All right. What is the name of the new business? Okay, we want to tell you guys so bad, but here's the thing. Here's the deal, as Nathan would say. We do not have everything finalized for the trademark because we need formulations. And they need to approve those formulations, to my understanding, before it can be trademarked. And so
if we reveal the name, not saying any of you guys would, but if we reveal the name,
it's not y'all we're worried about.
It's not y'all that we're worried about, but if we reveal the name, then you could turn around and go to a lawyer and go through the same process and potentially beat us to the punch. And so we can't reveal the name.
And then this would have, like, our lawyer has advised us to not reveal it publicly until we have it all finalized. So I got the formulations in for the tinctures last week when we were on vacation. We meet with a manufacturer tomorrow. Nathan has filtered through a ton of manufacturers. You guys, this is hard. Whoa, you guys know we've always been like small batch, work with local artisans. Like, we've never had to like mass manufacture anything, and it's intense. So right now, that's kind of where we are. As soon as we get the okay to release everything, you guys, trust me, will be the first to know.
Oh yeah, we will blast it for sure.
Three Willows Farm. How was your medicinal herb business going? I can't wait to hear more. Yeah, so we're going. I feel like, man, with the farm, when you want to start farming, you just plant a seed, right? You got to have a dream, you got to plant a seed, you got to cultivate it and tend to it, and then it's like life happens. And so I feel like we were slightly naive in starting a business because we had been farming and we've been, cultivating community for so long before we ever added in our store. And thankfully, like, our best friends, Jess and Maya, like, walked us through that process. You know what I mean? Like, there was someone who had been down that road before that was like, hey, here's your roadmap. I'm going to help you through this. And so that was so great. We were kind of eased into, learning about business and understanding that. And then this is so drastically different because there's labeling, there's manufacturing, there's mass producing, there's shipping and fulfillment. And so it's just a whole nother beast that is, we found, a lot slower because we're unwilling to compromise on some things. You guys know I'm like really picky. I'm really picky, and I really want to prioritize finding a manufacturer in the States.
And a big thing, to give you an example, as far as scale goes, this is not going to be make 10, 50 bottles. We're making 5,000, 10,000 bottles.
Yeah.
And so that's not something I can do in the basement of my home,
Yeah.
you know? And so we've had so many of you guys reach out, suggestions. Hey, I'd love to grow herbs for you. I'd love for you to grow herbs for me. If we could do it on scale, you know, and we have to be able to put the certified organic on the label. And so we are looking for certified organic growers. And that's another tricky thing. You know, we're meeting with this manufacturer tomorrow, and those are questions that we have for them. And he's going to have questions for us, but we're this close to landing something. But to give you guys a reference for scale, you know, I've had multiple people reach out and say, hey, you know, I'd love to.
And this isn't our scale. Like, this is manufacturer's requirements.
Right.
And so that to us has also been like, whoa, the thought of having, you know, and how we're going to have to do it, just being completely frank with you guys, we're going to have to like pre-order this stuff. I mean, we don't have the funds to be able to buy and supply 10,000 units of each of these things. And so that's kind of the model we're going to try to do while we're building up capital investing. But the idea is to make this, like, have it be more passive for us in a way. A lot of what we do, we are definitely the hands and feet of all the operations. We're still very much so employees of our own business. And it's like, how do we, you know, be able to actually enjoy some of the things that we're working really hard for? And so we are modeling this new business a lot differently. And so there are just those requirements for manufacturers, and like, we don't do any of that now. It's like, you know, we've got good, honest handshakes. We've worked with people we've worked with for years. We trust them. When we're out, we give them a heads up. They make it, and we'll relaunch it when we get it, you know. So just, I feel like this has just completely been different than what we've been accustomed to.
It's rocked our world for sure.
It is hard.
Yeah.
And this is what I've told Nathan, and he ended up like feeding me back my own words. I was having a moment yesterday of just like, whoa. And he was like, what do you always say? If it was hard, everyone would do it. Or if it was easy, everyone would do it. And that's true. I keep reminding myself that this is a need for so many people. It's a need for me specifically. And it's worth pushing through, even when I want to give up, even when nothing is going right. I mean, it took me months and months to just land on a name that we could actually like trademark, you know? And those are things that you just don't really think about. And so we're excited, but we have told ourselves we're not going to rush it. I won't put out a product unless I feel 100% on it. And if that means it's slower than what we had originally envisioned, we're intended to launch our first product September 21st.
Yeah.
So you guys be thinking about that number and just sending all that good stuff our way.
I don't know if this is Sydney or Tori, but when is Nathan's cookbook coming out?
When is Nathan's cookbook coming out?
I'm still, you know, honing in those recipes. So
no, I have told him, like, you need to do a cast iron cookbook. We just talked about this at Sydney. We just talked about this last week. It's a sign.
Yeah.
It's a sign. All right. Stay positive, and being proactive is better than reactive. Speaking from experience. Thank you, Brandy. I appreciate that. Here's my favorite couple. Hello, Lynette. How's it going? Please take care of yourself. I know, y'all. I'm going to. It's just, man.
Mommy's a workaholic.
I'm doing better about that. It's a mental thing for me.
Better.
I felt like I was just like never going to have to deal with that again. It was just like maintaining. And so that one kind of threw me for a loop. Hi, Stacy from Rochester. Didn't know you were going live today. Well, thank you for joining us. Hi from Canada. Lots of love for your family in Australia. Thank you so much. So excited from y'all. Well, hey, Megan from Arkansas.
Sue G said, where will you sell?
Where will you sell?
Good question.
Brace yourselves, y'all. No one come at me. Jill from 3 years ago, don't come at me. We will only or primarily?
It won't be only.
Okay.
So the goal for this, honestly, is, you know, we will sell on Amazon. We will.
That's why I said don't come at me.
I know. So we've got connections with Whole Foods. We've got connections with other larger chains, and that's the goal: is to get this, mass produce it, get it out there.
I would say Whole Foods is a big push, right?
Big push.
That would be the grocery store I'd want it in, because I shop a lot of my supplements at Whole Foods. Amazon's one of those things. I've come such a long way. I mean, I probably even still have videos lingering on YouTube, like really just encouraging people, do not shop from Amazon, only shop small. And my friend Natalie really broke me of that, because I talked about it all the time. And one day she just called me out. She's like, "What is your beef with Amazon?" And I'm like, "It's all shipped in from China. Like, that is not what I support. Like, I'm not about this convenient way of shopping." And she was like, "Did you know that over 50% of businesses on Amazon are family-owned businesses, my family included?" And I was like, "What?"
Yeah, which is a true
truth.
statement.
And so you just have to be diligent when you're shopping and see where it does come from.
Yeah.
And so for us, it's just, there's a way to fulfill it. You know, there's fulfillment with that, that Nathan isn't having to do. He spends a lot of time. There's just a lot of customer service that comes with like shipping out product and at the scale that we're trying to do this at. So
yeah,
we will have it probably on our website, or a link to somewhere.
We'll probably have a link. It'll be on a separate website under the company name. And so, yeah.
Yeah. I agree. My husband and I own a small business and we sell on Amazon. Oh, well, great. Great, Lisa. I know. I really have come a long way. It's just about being mindful, right? Like, read the description. I mean, my book, you know, I've sold so many of my books on Amazon. We were actually shipping a bunch yesterday or the other day. And Nathan goes, "You know, these are all printed in China." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, I have no say over that. You know what I mean? And so some things you're just like, well,
I'd never really paid attention. Yeah. And when we got a new shipment of books in, I was like, really? Of all the, you know, printing press places here in the United States, and the book. Yeah.
And we get a lot of, it was because we get a lot of damaged books. And when we were trying to make the warehouse aware, they wanted to know where the books were shipped out of. They wanted the invoice. So I guess, you know, we usually always get more damaged books from China. I think the other place they ship from is Canada. We've gotten like a couple shipments from there. And just came on, what is the product you will be selling? So this is for the new business that we are, the conversation you came in on. We're going to be doing one product right away. We have the formulations for 4. It's going to be adrenal support, thyroid support. We're going to have one on like digestive health with like just really your gut health. And then we're going to have a Zen tincture for like anxiety, relaxation. But I think the first one that's coming out is the adrenal support. But what we are really aiming, we're working with an herbalist who's a dear friend of mine. So that's really, really fun to be able to know the person who's formulating all this for us. We're wanting to hit really, you know, teenage menstrual cycles, women who are pregnant, women who are postpartum, women who are menopause. The whole idea is to support women in all different stages. Having a 13-year-old, we understand that whole teenage thing. Me being in my 30s, you know, having Nathan's mom, like we see how it affects all of us at all these different stages of life. And so that's really what I'm wanting to cater towards, is women's health, and specifically in areas that I've needed help and have just like not found any good holistic options.
Yeah.
So as far as like the names of them and things like that, we are still nailing all that down, working through labeling, logos, all that fun stuff. I've got to find a graphic designer. That's one of my biggest things for this week, is a graphic designer to curate the logo.
Yeah. So that's this manufacturing place. They have someone. We're just not sure if we're going to use them or try to go outside. So.
Oh, that's cool. Lisa says you can get a small business badge.
A what?
Like for your Amazon account, you can get a small business badge. That's cool. Oh. Can you sell on Etsy? I don't know. I've sold on Etsy before, and like, it's so funny. I feel like I might have told you guys this. I don't know. When I first started our farm and Charlie was a baby, I would go to markets and I would sell, but I didn't sell produce. I made herbal tea blends. I made frankincense capsules. I made bath teas, like all of this herbal line of stuff. And I was really, really into it. And I would literally like hand stamp all these craft bags, and I'd go set up at market selling herbal teas and salves. My first salve was called a hippie healing salve.
Imagine that.
It's so funny. But I used to sell on Etsy then, and I honestly didn't just love it. So I don't know that will be an option, but we're not going to rule it out. Nate, been a chef all my life. Please. Why can't I see that?
Please sign the cookbook for me. Can't wait.
See, everyone's saying. Mary, I recently made my first fermentation project. It was a success. What did you ferment? I want to know. Iodine for thyroid. Yes, I take iodine with kelp every single day. A good day to grow. I've truly enjoyed watching your journey and growth. I've been watching you from the beginning. Y'all are such a blessing to our community and beautiful family. Thank you. That's so sweet. Yeah. So hello, anyone who's joining us. We're just hopping on to hang out with you guys. Kind of catch up because we've been a little off social, I feel like, especially YouTube this summer. So if you guys have questions for us about our family, our farm, what's going on, the new business, nothing's off limits. So leave it in the comments. Who put the formulary together and what are their qualifications? They are certified herbalists. They've sent me all their certifications, but can I say this?
I don't know. Can
you? Why couldn't I?
I don't know.
I get put on the spot. I don't ever know what's right or wrong.
I mean, I don't see why it would be a problem. Majority of you guys may know her anyways.
Yeah. Okay. So Kaylee at the Homestead is doing all of our formulations.
Yeah.
And if you follow Kaylee, you know she's more than certified. She does have all of her certifications.
She is a wealth of knowledge.
She is a wealth of knowledge. And that was the thing. I wanted someone that I trusted. And so when she agreed to tackle this for us, I was overjoyed and had a sigh of relief. So that's who it is. And we're excited because I trust her. She's thought about things I haven't. She's thought about things that I haven't really thought about. As far as like, hey, we need to address the root cause, which I knew that, but for the adrenal support or thyroid, I think one of them, she was like, that's directly linked to like the kidney or the liver. So she's like, we need to address that so that this can be in its, highest function. And so just her years of experience, those are things, and I'm sure maybe other herbalists know that, but she's really kind of caused me to be like, hey, what is the goal? Is the goal to heal people or is the goal to mask a symptom? And that's been really cool for us to kind of dig a little deeper.
Yeah, she's incredible. She, as far as her knowledge goes, so we feel good about it.
Hello, I have very aggressive rheumatoid arthritis and none of the meds have worked. I'd love to have a natural product for joint support. Will you have something like that in the future? Yeah, I think we will. I think the goal is to keep expanding. And I think for me, it's been really simple with this new business in the sense of if there's a need, I just want to fill it, know? And so I built out my whole product line. We sent out an email a few months ago and we had hundreds. I mean, literally hundreds of you guys send in emails to me on what you were dealing with and what you would love support in. And I literally went through and created a Google document and wrote out every single one of these. And so I think the more needs we keep seeing and we have a way to fill those needs, that's going to be exactly what we do, catered, specifically for women. So I could definitely see that. Fermented cherry tomatoes. Man. We haven't fermented cherry tomatoes in a while.
We've been behind. Our garden is slack this year for sure.
I know. We love Kaylee and her mom. Love them. Any advice you'd like to share for new farmers starting to go to the farmer's market to sell? Sarah, that's great. I would say make yourself stand out, right? You go to a farmer's market, everybody has the same thing. And more than likely, the people who've shopped from the same farmer's market booth are going to keep going back there. So really how you make yourself stand out is how you set up your booth. And Ray Tyler says, stack it high and watch it fly. And so for him, he has this abundance mindset when he sets up his booth at the farmer's market. And like he's constantly restocking. And that way, the fuller that it is, more people are eager to buy it versus some people think, well, I want it to look scarce. I want it to not look like much so that people think I'm selling. And actually, he found that doesn't work out well for him. So whatever it is in just like the aesthetic that you can kind of draw people in, maybe have a sign out front, maybe offer a free sampling or whatever that looks like. But I think at a farmer's market, it's really difficult because most people are selling the same thing. So you really have to think about the aesthetic and how you set up your booth that's going to really captivate someone and be like, that's a booth I want to walk in and see what they have.
That's great. That's perfect. Because more than likely you're walking into a market where some of these people have been selling for years. And so a lot of these people know them by name, know their farm. And so, you really do have to make yourself stand out. So great advice, babe.
Thank you. I wrote a book. You should read it. All right, Karen, I will buy anything that will help with fibro, Lyme's, and gut health. Yes, I really, really want to prioritize gut health too. That's something that I thought my gut health was so good until I went to a functional medicine doctor and they're like, actually, I eat fermented foods. Like, I feel like I do so well. And so that kind of shocked me. I take an enzyme support before every single meal. I take this disgusting gut powder in my drink. Like, I'm doing all the things to heal my gut right now. And so that is definitely a priority because it literally makes the whole body function. And so many people get it wrong. So,
This is a great question. Jacqueline Frank.
All right. Hi, Jill and Nathan. When it comes to finding the name of your business, how do you come up with one that represents you but is also creative? I can list all of my passions, but I am not creative. Girl.
This was a struggle. This was a struggle because everything we came up with was already a business, already trademarked, we had the hardest, I say we. She's the creative here.
Yeah.
She had the hardest time finding
so
a company name.
With the farm was simple. First of all, when I named the farm, I had no idea that it would be the business that it is today. I wanted to name Charlie Willow so bad. And back at the time, Nathan was not this crunchy little gent who sits in front of me right now. Okay. Like, this man was still like pop a collar on his polo. And so he was just like, you cannot name our kid Willow. Like, everyone is going to think that you are like just that hippie and no. And so he named her Charlie, which at the time I hated. I hated the name Charlie. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it to you. It's named after him. He's the third generation's Charles. I'm like, all right, I will respect you and let me have that. And so at that point, I'd started gardening and expanding my garden. I knew I wanted to sell at markets. And so I was like, well, I'm going to name our farm Willow because that's like my baby too. And literally, I'm not even kidding you. I was like, well, what rhymes with willow? So I was like, go through and I'm like, oh, whispering willow. What do you think? And he's like, it's kind of long. And I'm like, yeah, but no one else. There was no other whispering willows. That is how the farm was born. If I could go back and realize what we are now, I don't know that I would have chose that name. So with the new business, there was this level of pressure because I knew that our goals for this business were larger and just vastly different. Like, our farm will hopefully be passed down, and if our kids don't want it, honestly, when we're not able to do it, I hope to be able to just gift that to someone else and let them, start their business or their dream, but I feel like it will always just be this really small scale, intimate thing. With the new business, wanting to get it in grocery stores, wanting it to, be at a much larger scale, it had to be something that was going to be appealing when what's going to grab someone's attention if they're walking down an aisle at Whole Foods. And I was very, very specific in the sense of I wanted it to be one word because statistically, one word businesses do better. I wanted it to be an acronym because I wanted people to know ethically where we stood. And so, our business is one name, but the acronyms, when you read what it is, which will be displayed on the website or Amazon or wherever, you'll have no doubt what our company stands for. And so that was really important to me. And so finding a name is hard, but I encourage you, what is it that you want to be known for? Because you can get caught up in the names and the logos and the aesthetic. But when someone says your name, what do you hope is like encompassed and embodied in that? And like jot those things down on paper. But I would really encourage you, don't rush through it because when you finalize it, it is final. And so for me, this took me months of going back to the drawing board until it was something that I was just like, okay, this is it.
She'd come up with 10 or 15 great names where we could come up with a great acronym. And then we do a quick little search to see if that company already existed. And it did, And so that was the trickiest thing, is we had come up with what we thought were great company names, and yeah, they were all taken.
And I guess really like asking yourself, when you look at someone else's business, what's gravitating you? What is it about someone's business name or their logo that you find appealing? And so, yeah, there's really no good way. I don't think you have to be a creative to be able to have that. And this is the great thing about outsourcing, is I came up with the name. I am lacking vision for a logo. With the farm, I actually drew out the logo. It was very clear how I wanted it. That made sense to me. But for this new business, I'm kind of in a place where like all my creativity is just being put in so many different areas right now that I feel like I'm not as creative as I usually am. And so I've told Nathan, this is where I'm going to, hire a creative graphic designer and tell them my ideas and tell them, hey, this is my goal for this business. This is my passion. This is the colors I like. This is what I gravitate to, and kind of let someone else run with that creative freedom and bring me back options. And so if it seems super overwhelming to you, maybe that's a friend, maybe that's someone in your family, maybe that's a coworker, or maybe that is hiring some sort of creative, or graphic designer to just kind of help you go through ideas. I found like it's really helpful to just walk through that with other people. Mm-hmm. You've been an inspiration. We bought 13 acres in Western Australia, inspired by you and Roots and Refuge.
Heck yeah.
How cool. Aloha from Maui, Hawaii. Please keep us all in your prayers as you go about your day.
Oh my goodness. Kim,
man, we have cried so much. We are definitely thinking and praying for all of you guys in Hawaii right now.
It's just wild to me.
Wild.
What's going on over there.
It is.
Strange, wild. But yeah, it's hopefully you're good.
Sending love and prayers.
Yeah.
Good morning, Erica from Australia.
Wow, so many people from Australia. Babe, I want to go to Australia. I had a chance to go to Australia in high school to play football. And I had to raise like $3,000 to go. And I did not, but.
Because you didn't raise the money?
Well, like, they didn't just offer this to anybody. So it was it was a privilege, right?
You were elite.
Well. And anyways, what we were going to do is put on American football camps over there.
Oh, that's cool.
And so that was 20 something years ago, a long time ago. But I have wanted to go to Australia since. I want to go to Australia.
Our folks in Australia, can we come and crash in here?
If we go to Australia, we're going to have some sort of meetup or something.
Yeah.
Like
we actually have, well, one, it's the States, the Canada, and then Australia. Those are our top 3 viewership.
Yeah. As far as our analytics, we amazingly have a lot of people from Australia that follow our journey. So
very cool. Bye, Jesse. Have fun doing your chores. I was going to edit a video tonight, and then I realized that we have this great internet. I can get up in the morning and it will still be done. So great. We went and picked peaches yesterday.
Yes.
And behind me, our girls, which it'll be the vlog tomorrow, you guys will see, but our girls picked
peaches everywhere.
They picked $120 worth of peaches in 5 minutes, which one, I didn't even bring that much cash. Okay. So she told me the total. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. We picked 30 something pounds. It was like 35 pounds.
And they were all unripe. Like I can't use.
No, it was 40 pounds.
I can't use any of them.
Yeah. They were very firm.
So we have them all sitting in the window, because I want to be able to do something with it.
Let me just tell you something. So I've been outside mowing today. It's extremely hot here in Arkansas, 101, 102, I think. I won't complain for you guys in Texas, but so Redmond's lemon lime relight with some sliced peaches. Oh my goodness.
Money.
I can drink this all day. It's amazing.
It was good. I tried it. Lisa, I can't wait to hear the name once it's finalized. Thank you. Lauren, what is the new business? I'm late to the live. So we are opening up a herbal supplement business catered specifically to women's health. Even more specific, a lot of the things I've been walking through for the last year when it comes to adrenal support, thyroid support, gut health, anxiety, all the things you can think of. We are trying to just cater to the woman body as holistically as we can. So we're in the nitty gritty of formulations, finding manufacturers.
And I want to add something. If there's products out there, if there are genuine good products out there, we probably wouldn't have ever gone down this journey. However, what we were finding is there wasn't any good options, any good clean options.
Yeah.
And so that's what projected us, to this journey of creating this business. It was because we couldn't find anything, that.
I mean, and I've been taking tinctures and all sorts of herbal medicine for over a decade.
Yeah.
And there are some that I would say have worked. I would say there have been some companies that have worked, but I feel like as time has went on, there's been more fluff, right? Just like when you go to the grocery store 10 years ago, what you bought on the shelves versus now is vastly different as far as the fillers that's in there. And, you really have to be mindful of like reading labels. And while I still encourage you guys to do that, I know that I've built trust with this community. And I know that if I say, hey, I stand for this, you guys trust that I have done the fact checking, that I've read the labels, that I've, and so that was really my thing, is just like, even good products are crap. And
Yeah.
I want to create something that's not. I want to recognize that there's a need and work towards like doing better at that.
I can promise you there won't be any fluff, any crap, we may not have the cheapest product out there. And that's what we're running into.
Yeah. That's true.
A lot of these manufacturers have formulas already, but it's got,
I didn't realize that
they've got a red
thing.
dye in it, or they've got some BS in it that doesn't need to be in there. Excuse my, but it's going to be a clean product.
We get fired up about this.
We do get
If you knew how many labels, I've got an app on my phone called Yuka, and we scan barcodes every time, and it tells you this app is actually really good and it's free. YUKA. I'm going to go ahead and just type it in here because I know someone's going to say something. But if you scan the barcode, it will tell you like how many harmful chemicals are in there. It will even, I scanned one thing at Costco one time and it told me that it was like all the other countries it was banned in.
Yeah. So
it tells you how many chemicals are in it, but then it also gives you a better alternative. And the thing is just living an aware lifestyle, right? And granted, there's so many things we don't do well and we don't do perfectly, but the idea is to raise a generation that's aware and knowing that prioritizing your health, which ultimately starts with what you put in and on your body, is crucial. That's why we farm. That's why we grow our own food, is to teach our kids, hey, you don't have to do what everyone's telling you to do. Like, you don't have to buy the crap at the grocery store. You can grow your own. You can support another farmer. And really, that's kind of how we are here with, holistic approaches too. Like, I just don't want my kids to grow up thinking it's okay to just take these things and do these things. And I know for some people it's inevitable and you have to, just like I had to have a surgeon perform my surgery. There was no way to get around that.
I wasn't doing it.
Yeah. So we get that and we understand that. But if we do have a means to choose a holistic alternative, that's definitely what we want to try to aim to do. Yep. Hello from Australia too, Michelle. Erica, please come to Australia. I have a spare room.
Hey.
We are in the country. I'm here for it.
Miss Erica, don't tempt me.
Florida has also been under extreme heat warnings for the last couple of days. Today was 96. It feels like temps are 111. Dang.
Yeah, we were 101 with the heat index of, what was it, 108 today?
I feel like today was rough because we were out of town all week and it rained every day. Like, it was 70s, 80s. I mean, it was just not typical August weather. And so we came home and we're just like, what is happening?
No, I decided to mow today in 100 and whatever, and Ivy June decides she wants to help me. So I've got her little body on this mower, and it was miserable.
Mama Bear Higgs, are y'all moving to South Carolina anytime soon? Negative. We do have lots of dear friends there. We have never felt the call to South Carolina. Nope. We'll go visit. I do think
we have
beautiful.
Goals and dreams, but it's not South Carolina.
I think South Carolina is beautiful. We actually love Tennessee, though. Like, if we were to move somewhere else in the States, I would say we would probably move to Tennessee, but we're not we don't plan on moving anytime soon.
Mhm.
Cheaper isn't always better. You get what you pay for. Absolutely. That's a mindset thing, though. That
Absolutely.
is for sure. This is something that is needed and sounds awesome. Thank you so much. If y'all come up with something to help myself and my husband's thyroid issues, I will pay whatever the price is. Can men use this formulation too? That's a great question.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure yes, but I am advertising it specifically for women, especially like adrenal support and things like that. Because I haven't really done studies on men and thyroid health, but I guess
Yeah.
that
Yeah, and that's the thing is, we're open. We have this document with all of these different things that we're looking at. We are just specifically our first 4 products, at least, are going to be geared around women's health because that's my wife's journey. So
may be hard to believe, but southern British Columbia, Canada will be in the 100 Fahrenheit range for the next week.
wow, that's wild.
Oh man, outside KC, and we are now flooding from the downpour. I have some friends that live in Kansas City, and they have been dealing with some crazy weather.
Really?
The Naked Gardeners. Don't you mean move to Texas? No. No. I go to Texas every time I visit Bootstrap.
I like to visit Texas.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
We went to, was it last year we went to Waco?
Yeah.
So I had a business trip planned to Waco, and a tragic accident happened in the other person's family, and they had to cancel, but I couldn't get my money back. So I told Nathan, well, we either literally waste the money I paid for this place, or we just take the kids and go. I don't remember when it was. August, maybe?
It was August.
It's 114 degrees.
Yeah.
Of course, we went to Magnolia. We did all the typical Waco stuff. There's like nothing in that town, though, other than Waco, other than Magnolia.
My favorite part about the trip, I enjoyed Magnolia.
There was that thing.
There was a little
in Waco, though?
Yeah, there was a little community outside of Waco. I don't remember what the name of it was, but and it wasn't an Amish community. Or
it
was
wasn't
it Amish?
because apparently, and no one took offense to this, apparently there's some sort of like legit cult in that area.
What?
Yeah, that's what I've been told. So when I was telling people about this, like, you went to that? I'm like, no. That is not the place we went to. This had a really
cultish vibes, but
no, it wasn't that. That's what I'm saying. There's something else there.
Yeah, there's this beautiful little community where all these people work and thrive, and it reminds me of the Amish community because they teach you how to forge steel. They teach you how to weave baskets. They teach you how to make candles. They teach you how to make tinctures. Like, they have this beautiful little store where all these.
Very cool.
I mean, it was the neatest little community, and I cannot think of the name of it.
I can't either.
That was my favorite part of Waco.
That was. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to enjoy Magnolia, and it was 114 degrees. You know why I didn't like Waco? I'm just going to be real honest with you. I'm going to tell you right now. They had no coffee. We even went, no. We even went to the farmer's market and asked the locals. And I vividly remember this lady sitting there. She's like, oh, yeah, you're not going to get good coffee here.
They had 4 or 5 coffee shops, and it was horrible.
I felt bad. I tried it. And I told Nathan, I was like, I cannot drink this. This is a horrible coffee. Magnolia did have coffee, but the lines were so long that I was just like, not worth it.
Yeah,
not worth it.
The food.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed with it. My cousin
If you're from
moved
Waco,
there.
we're not bashing Waco.
My cousin just moved there from California. I'm not bashing it, but for it to be 114 degrees, I'm going to need the coffee and the food to be on point. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. I love Magnolia. I've been binge watching all things Magnolia this weekend. Isn't basil tea a good way to go for your health? Holy basil, Tulsi is delicious. I do think basil tea is actually really good for your health. Hello, Happy Chicken. Would love y'all to come visit. We should plan it. I love your bread knife. Southwest Missouri here. Thank you, Tanya.
67 degrees in Minnesota. You're in north central Minnesota. Minnesota custom made.
Wow. Sarah, do y'all feel like you're on your forever farm? No. Nope. It's so funny. So those of you who are like R&R OG, we were in like, that's usually what like we get, you know what I mean? It's like, how could you? When they asked us to buy this farm, we sat right here on their dining room table and we're like, listen, we would love to buy your property, but I have no intention of staying there. And like, you need to know that up front before you feel okay with selling your property to us. They were like, yeah, we don't blame you. It's your farm. Do what you want to do. And we were like, okay. So we've never felt the pressure that we've had to stay here because they were just kind of like, we love you guys. We support you. And so Jess and Maya actually know our long-term goal and have known our long-term goal before us ever even buying their house, which is still our long-term goal. I don't know that we're at a place where we're wanting to really kind of dive into that right now, but they've always been more than aware. And yeah, it's not here, but we are so motivated to, when we sell our property, sell it as a working farm where someone can come in and turn profit. And I would love to even like, turn over my accounts. If that's granted, if the person doesn't want to do that, that's totally fine. But I know we're kind of even walking into this new season where we've been neglected a lot on the farm because I think just building this business has taken so much out of us, more than we really realized.
It's just time restraints versus being outside.
Yeah. And it's just me and Nathan. we have no employees. We just do this ourselves. And so, yeah, that's something we were talking about over the weekend of like, one, not gardening this season has like, really, really affected my mental health, like so much. And so it's like, all right, there's got to be the balance because I'm not willing to sacrifice my own, health or well-being in pursuit of a thing. There has to be a balance in that. And so, he was like, well, you've not spent time in the garden. Like there's been no garden. There's so many things I want to do to this property that just scream life. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of the season that I'm in. I'm reading a book right now called Restoration House. Someone sent it to me like years ago. And I'm just now opening up this book, and it talks about like how God's called us to our homes and how this can be a place for us to cultivate community and bring people in, and how God provides so much restoration in a home. And it was just so crazy because this is what I feel like kind of the season I'm in right now, of just like wanting so much restoration in my home and wanting it to be a place where people come and they gather and they feel inspired and they feel connected and they want to make some sort of change. Not saying everyone that comes to our farm wants to be farmers or gardeners or homesteaders, but they at least feel this nudge of being connected, And I feel like we've lacked that in this season of being connected ourselves because we're building, right? When you're building a house, it's like brick by brick and it's taxing, it's hard. And so I think I'm just like embarking on the season of like, I have got to really prioritize still being inspired and still finding the balance of work and garden. And when your garden is your work, that becomes a really muddled thing sometimes. And so I don't know, I just really want this place to be something. I just know when we bought this farm, it was sprinkled in so much magic from Jess and Maya. And even though we're not at a place where we're going to be moving for any time soon, I just want when someone to come in, they just feel that just jolt of electricity of like, man, I feel the love that went into this home and this farm.
Yep.
I'm still trying to build it.
Yeah, we'll get there. But
we'll get there.
Yeah, whoever buys this place will be rocking and rolling. So
yeah, I hope so.
Sydney says 104 degrees is fall weather in Texas. I know. I'll quit complaining.
That's why we don't live in Texas. Question. I have 3 small children. I've tried starting your sourdough starter. I think I killed it. What should I do? It does not rise. Have you already gotten through the 3-day process of bringing it back to life? If you have, just keep discarding and refeeding. Sometimes the temperatures in your home can make a big difference. So if you've went ahead and done the, rehydrating process, just keep discarding and refeeding, but do it more frequently than what the instructions suggest.
Make sure you're using a scale in grams.
Yep, that's important.
That is important.
I'm joining in late and just heard that you're creating products for women's health. How exciting. I just started looking into alternatives to hormone replacement therapy. Awesome. Yes, we are hoping to have stuff fallish.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Good Lord willing. Hello from Northern California. It's 100 degrees today. It's a nice place to visit, but I don't work in a hospital doing what I love. I would move. You've mentioned your goats are drying up with the milk. Any plans for future goats or breeding again? Great question.
Yeah.
So we're going to chat about this. So when we moved here, I was hell-bent on getting a dairy cow. Okay. So convinced that like Nathan's calling people from the co-op that he used to work at and getting jerseys. And then I'm talking to Jess and she's like, you really do not have the property for a cow. Like, get goats, blah, blah, blah. We were buying milk from the dairy down the road, literally like a mile down the road, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
And I was just dead set that I was going to do it. I had figured out a way. We were going to just rotate it from the pastures, which would have been a total pain in the butt. And thinking about it now, I would have never actually done that. But I just wanted it so bad. And I cannot explain it other than just sheer conviction of like, you say, like, this is what I felt. It was like, you say you're all about community. And instead of supporting the person down the road, you have this mentality that you have to have it yourself to feel fulfillment. And I remember telling Nathan, I was like, we got to stop. We're not buying a cow. Like, and he was like, what are you talking about? I just found a cow. Like, someone offered to give us a Dexter for free. We just had to go get it. Like, all these great, amazing doors.
That was Chris and Tina.
Chris and Tina.
They were good friends.
Yeah. And I wanted it so bad, but I truly felt God just convicted me so much and was like, you just need to steward and support this other business. That dairy is their livelihood. And so we completely called it off. We got goats so that I could actually try to figure out what I was doing. I love the goats.
Spent a fortune on the goats.
The goats were kind of expensive. And our sweet neighbor. So, when Jess and Maya lived here, Maya's brother lived next door. And they had some of their animals on their 3.5 acres, which were like alpacas and goats. I don't really know what they had over there. And so we have a new neighbor, and then him and his wife are lovely. And he lets our sheep go over there and graze because he doesn't have to mow his yard. Well, now we are getting rid of a lot of our sheep. We do not have plans of rebreeding. And so Nathan's like, we could actually get a mini Jersey and keep it on the neighbor's property. And we could have so much more milk. The question is, get a mini cow? I haven't even looked at the do I need a Jersey? That's the question. Because we
haven't even talked to the neighbor about this, so.
Well, if he lets like 13 sheep, what's one cow? We'd rent the space. We'd rent the lot.
We're going to have to sweeten that pot somehow. Just saying.
I'd give them fresh, raw milk with a pamphlet.
And pork chops and bacon. I need to run some pork chops over there.
I don't know. The truth is, so we have Nubian Nigerian mixes, and one's a heifer. Since I've gotten one, she lays down on me. I have done every trick of the trade. Like, it is just such an absolute pain in the butt to milk her. And I'm not getting hardly anything out of her. So then I've got one goat that I can't actually milk. But I'm not, even when they were in full milk, I wasn't getting a ton. And so at this point, like, we're still going to have to be supplementing milk. And it's just for like our drinking needs. Like, not even enough to make cheeses or cream cheese or sour cream. There's no extra whatsoever. And so that's why we were thinking about this. We got rid of 2 of our goats. We kept 2 of the babies. And so that's kind of a conversation we've been having is, what do we do? What actually makes the most sense? Now that we're committed to a dairy animal, I'd still have dairy. So it's either us rebreeding again this fall, the mamas, and letting the babies get bigger, or we look into eliminating the 4 goats to get 1 mini Jersey. Because I still think, any of you guys own jerseys? A mini Jersey is still producing a lot of milk, especially in comparison to a miniature goat, don't you think?
Yeah, I would guess. I
don't know. We're debating. We're trying to weigh our options. We're trying to figure out what to do. Open to suggestions. No coffee is a deal breaker. Absolutely.
How do you go about starting a small business from home? I currently stay home with my kids and would love to help my husband by bringing in some income while being home.
That's great.
That's great. How do you answer that, babe?
Are you hinting at something?
I'm just saying.
I've been working my tail off, you guys, on So I would say the majority of you guys that follow me for gardening, homesteading, baking, all those things. But I do have a select, view or audience. I have a select audience that follow me for entrepreneurial and business stuff. And we actually get asked a lot of questions. And so I've been spending the last, 3 months working on a business guide. It's called Small Business, Big Profit. And it's essentially everything you need to know to get started. Creating a business, finding a product, understanding your customers. So that's not out yet, but I would say the easiest way to bring in money is figure out what it is that you have knowledge in. Doesn't mean you have to be an expert, but what do you have decent knowledge in, and turn that into a digital resource.
And what are you passionate about?
Preach. What are you passionate about?
What are you passionate about? Because, let's not start a business that you absolutely hate, right? So
which I do have a freebie. If you go to our website, I have a freebie on building a business that brings life, and it talks about having a passion, turning that passion into vision. Because if you don't love it, what's the point in doing it, right? But yeah, I would say figure out what you're passionate about. Figure out something that you have knowledge in, turn that into a digital resource. I know a lot of friends in the Instagram space who are like freelancers, and they do a lot of writing, which requires very little. You can get it done during nap time. And so that might be something to consider. Reach out to some of these magazines and see if you can write on whatever it is that you are passionate about. The Naked Gardener sheep, how are they?
Getting fat.
They're getting so fat.
I'm ready. I don't know. I'm guessing November, December, maybe January. I'll be putting some in the freezer. So,
Lisa, I'm curious about the goats too. Interesting that they're already drying up. Right. So I'm a newbie here. When I reached out to my friend who I bought them from, she said after 10 weeks, they start really dampering off, which would make sense because it was September when we bred them last year.
Mm-hmm.
So it made sense to me in the sense of like rebreeding and keeping that cycle going. We have had, so the darker one, Maybelle, ever since she kidded, we have had the hardest time with her health. We've had to worm her more frequently. There was at one point that I was just like, things are not looking good. She doesn't ever hold weight as much as the other one. And so I just don't know if I did rebreed, if I would rebreed her, because she's the one that had triplets. And I think it just took so much more out of her nursing triplets and giving birth to triplets than maybe Millie, who only had one. We're obviously still learning a lot, but I don't know, when I was doing the math and talking to, who I bought them from, that seemed to make sense that they would start to tamper off because they were born in March, right?
Really?
Yeah, they were born in March.
Okay.
Are you guys going to send the sheep to freezer camp?
Absolutely.
So we will send the babies. We will sell the mamas.
We will send the rams to freezer camp for sure.
Freezer camp.
And I have 3 I don't know. We have, let's see, 1, 2. I have 2 that I would sell.
The issue is, it is so easy. It is so easy to go all in. And it's in fact what I teach very strongly against. But when you have space, you're like, oh, I want this animal and I want this animal. And granted, when Nathan got these sheep, we had no idea they would all throw triplets and we would have such a
I don't have a tractor. I need something to keep the pastures down, right?
I mean, I don't know that we need that many.
Well,
the thing, we have too many animals is the conclusion that we've come to.
We had 3 ewes and they threw 7 babies.
Yeah.
So we weren't expecting that.
Whoa. Lisa said, I've milked my Nigerian dwarf for almost a year now. Okay. I'm going to keep going strong with Millie. I think Millie, I can still keep going. I'm not sure about Maybelle. So yeah, we've been talking. We have our feed bill's outrageous. I'm just going to be completely honest. We are.
It's because of the hogs.
Our feed bill's outrageous. We've had to buy 2 additional deep freezes. Like, we have more meat than we really know what to do with. And at this point, you get to a point where you're like, oh, I've seen this circling the internet. It's like, oh my gosh, this one tomato cost me $68. That's where we are with meat right now. It's like, it is costing us a fortune. We're on a single income. So it's like, we have got to cut the feed budget and just be more resourceful. and be more diligent about the animals that we have and the money that we're spending on animals. And so this was actually something that like you would come to me about, of like getting rid of some pigs, getting rid of some sheep, even just like coming back just a little. Not saying we're going to get rid of all of our pigs, but we have a lot of pigs right now. We have a lot of sheep. We got rid of goats.
I just wish I could tell these mamas, hey, mama pig, you don't need 8 babies, 10 babies. You just need 2, just 2 or 3.
I don't think that's
It doesn't work that way.
I don't think that's how it works. No. Are you guys? Oh wait, no. Oh, we have fantastic strong coffee here in Australia. See, you hear that?
Hey, I'm gonna start looking at plane tickets.
What is that even like? Who knows? My Nigerian has given me 40 ounces per day at top production. She's now down to 16. I'm getting like this much. This much. Granted, mine's a mix. So yours are just Nigerians. Mine are a Nubian Nigerian. Yeah, no, I'm not. Oh, hey, Deb. So glad I checked in on YouTube after working outside. It's so good to see you guys here.
Good to see you, Deb.
Jacqueline, business podcast besties. Yes, my friend Natalie and I also are doing a business besties podcast. It's a 6-week series talking about motherhood and entrepreneurship and just the real life truth that people, I feel like, specifically in our niche, don't talk about when it comes to money and how you actually make money on a homestead and how hard that is. Because it's kind of this fine balance, right? It's like we want to encourage and inspire people. Absolutely. And that is the vast of what you see. We're not Debbie Downers by any means, but the truth is like, it's hard. Like animals die, crops die. You have to sacrifice certain things to be able to move forward in other areas. And it's hard. And I wish as a community we did better at just like being really authentic about that, specifically when it comes to money. Like, where does our money actually come from? How are we actually making money on a homestead so that we are showing someone else this is your tangible outlet for this, right? Because growing your own food is great, but that doesn't, you're offsetting your cost of going to a grocery store, but it's not bringing you in money. And so, yeah, me and my friend Natalie, it's called the Business Besties Podcast. And we kind of just talk about that, of just conversations people aren't having.
I was kind of communicating with Sydney from the Naked Gardeners. If you guys don't follow them, go follow them. They're beautiful people. But he posted something yesterday about hitting the pavement. So he went to his local community. He was finding all these places that were selling local goods. And what he was doing was research, right?
Yeah.
He was seeing what his competitors in the area were doing and how he could do it better. And so we had this conversation.
Oh, okay.
He posted this about hitting the pavement. And I thought that's beautiful because there's so many people that are afraid to get out and see in their local community, these potential new customers, right? And you got to kind of think outside of the box. And he found a coffee shop in his local community, but there's so much value in meeting this store owner face to face, right? Telling your story, telling, showing pictures of your farm, whether it be social media, and then separating yourself from your competitors. And I thought what he posted yesterday, I was just like, yes, thank you. You're doing what you need to do, right? And so good job, Tori. Sydney, good job.
All right. Mini Dexter produces 5 gallons of milk per day, according to Google. Holy cow. A tractor is a game changer. Are you guys moving? No, we are not moving. Question. What are your long-term goals if that does not involve the current homestead?
Not sure we're ready to reveal that yet. Lofty goals.
I can say it still involves growing food and cultivating community.
Yeah.
We do have such a large vision for us. You're getting the insider scoop here. Nothing about what we do is passive. We get up and we work our butts off day in and day out, and that is how we make a living, and that feels great. It is also challenging. It's very challenging not being able to mentally shut it off. And so for us, we do have goals. A lot of the goal with the new business too is to be able to give ourselves a revenue that is a passive stream, that we are able to enjoy our family. We've worked so hard at cultivating this life, and I don't want it to be at a sacrifice of my family, right? Like, why do we homestead? It's to be connected. It's to have sustainability. It's to be intentional with your family. But I feel like many of us sometimes can lose that in the grind of building our homesteads or the demands of our homesteads and animals and gardens and milking. And I mean, it's such an easy thing to do. And so when we think about our long-term goal, we think about stewarding community, but more importantly, we think about stewarding our family in a very interactive way. Like I would say we are still super diligent with being interactive with our kids, but because our work is at home, they see us work more than most people's children probably do. It's like mommy and daddy go to work, we come home, and then we relax. Well, a lot of our schedule's super unorthodox, and sometimes we don't have the luxury of an 8 to 5 job because our jobs are our farms. And so our long-term goal is to prioritize community, prioritize our family, grow food. Like I am just so passionate about teaching people the value, but more so just equipping them with the resources that like they can do that too. So that's a huge part of our long-term goal. Just looks a little different than what many might think. So hopefully one day soon we can share that with you guys. The Backyard Homesteader. Hi, Jill and Nate. What is up? We just bought a property right under an acre and want a goat. We have chickens and working on building my garden for next spring. I would say goats are like, eat the goats and get a cow. I can tell that was
an acre.
Goats are great. Goats are great, especially if you're on small property. I love that. This is one of the things that kind of concerns me about a cow is June is out there constantly, and I just think about a cow compared to June. You know what I mean?
I love Chris Bradbury says, hi from UK, eat the goats and get a cow.
I just said that, you goober.
I know. I've been wanting to eat goat. I've never had goat. She won't let me. We
are certainly not eating Argos.
Maybe not Argos, but
I've had goat before.
Okay. I've never had it.
And I've also had cow tongue, and I didn't like either one of them. I'm so pro not eat goat, but I am pro get a cow if that's what. Check Kubota for plans. We got one last year when they were running a 5-year 0% financing plan. They run offers often.
Yeah, maybe.
I know. That's what's hard too, is like prioritizing what, like we're at a complete halt with the tunnel because I went to Texas. I picked up my tunnel from Bootstrap. We had a guy come out and do dirt work, but then we get, we're on a ridge, so we have really bad flooding. So then he was like, man, you're going to have to build a retaining wall or it's going to wash away all the dirt in your tunnel. So we had that price, which was thousands of dollars. And then the pack and wash shed, it was like another $30,000 to finish our project. And we are just like not in a place to do that right now. And so everything is halted. So I think kind of our first plan of action is to get the tunnel plantable, right? Is that a first plan?
That's a good word. Plantable.
Plantable.
Get it plantable. Yeah.
Is that not a legit word?
No, it's a great word.
Yeah. Get it to where we can plant it. Maybe for the winter garden.
Oh, yeah. We'll have it up and running.
But I would say that we've got to get this project done and finished and figure out what we're going to finish doing, what we're actually going to have to just wait. But yeah,
we're going to have to do retaining walls before this fall or winter season. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, everything's going to wash away. So.
Yeah. So maybe once we get that massive project done that we've started, we can look at maybe a tractor. We are so fortunate. Our friends Doug and Sherry live down the road. They have a weekend home. And they let us borrow their tractor whenever
I borrowed their
want.
mower today.
They're so kind.
And their tractor. And we decided they have a swimming pool. So we decided after I mowed today and I got all hot and sweaty, I was like, you know what? Let's take a dip in the pool.
So hop in pool.
Doug and Sherry, if you're on here, thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Cow tongue sandwich. That's exactly what I ate. And I was in Africa at the time. And my gut was already destroyed because the food there was mind-boggling. I was also 21, mind you, so I had a college student diet. They give me this hoagie bun slapped with a legit cow tongue, like skin and all.
Saliva rolling off of it.
And it's very rude in that culture, because that was a delicacy. You know, I mean, we've been eating like, but the craziest thing is like we had burgers one night with like part of the beef you can't even buy in the States. Like we were all so sick. And so it was just like, I don't know that I can handle anything else. But it is insulting, you know, in the tribe that we were at to like say no, like they had offered us their prize thing. And I just remember thinking, Lord Jesus, let me get this down or give me a really good excuse where I cannot eat this right now. And so Nathan's always been like, I want to try cow tongue. And
I've got cow tongue in the freezer right now.
You are on your own.
Yeah.
On your own.
I'm going to turn it into jerky or something.
And maybe I would try it then, but just envision a cow tongue that was literally in the middle of a hoagie and it was no bueno. Y'all, I'm in tears. What a blessing. Thank you so much for this offering. I've had a lifetime of issues and now I'm watching my 4 girls have problems. You're such a blessing to us. Aw. Goats are the most eaten in the world. Deb, I know. Not my sweet. I've named them. You cannot eat an animal that you've named.
I'd eat them.
Absolutely not. Hello. Sorry we're late. Homestead chores never seem to end. How are y'all? Tilted K Homestead. We are so great. We're coming off of a week-long vacation, feeling renewed for the new week. Yeah, we have so many things on the list lined up. Mainly like the biggest things. Nathan's meeting with the manufacturer next week. Tomorrow, we're cleaning out the tunnel. I'm starting more seeds. We're mending beds. It's going to be a good week.
Yeah, it's going to be a very productive week. We need it. We took a week off, so. Yeah,
we have. I had cow tongue in Japan recently, but it was thinly sliced and cooked over a grill, so I'm sure mine was better. It sounds a lot better.
It sounds delicious.
A lot better. I just got here, and you folks need to hit the like button. Thank you.
And that is Miss Charmaine. Miss Charmaine, I enjoy all your comments on YouTube. Thank you so much.
You're so sweet. So you guys probably know this by now, but I removed myself from the YouTube comments. I love you guys, and I appreciate you, but I don't read any of them because some people are just mean.
It's not true. I send her a lot of them.
He does. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Nathan handles all of our comments, and so he'll be like, hey, you need to read this. And that way it just keeps me in a clear headspace where I want to show up and do content for those of you who actually are really kind and care about our family. But it's so funny because we saw you guys waiting in here and Nathan was like, oh, that one comments all the time. And like, oh, that person, Hallie, she's so sweet. And it was just, you've built relationships.
Yeah. I mean, I see the names. I recognize them. So
goat is delicious. We cooked a cow tongue the other weekend. Oh, my Lanta, poor man's brisket.
Sydney can cook too, so I'll bring my cow tongue down there and we will barbecue and hang out. I'm down with that.
Mean people suck. Amen.
They sure do. It's so funny. Like, you know, I can't believe people. Like, I don't have a whole lot of extra time, and so the thought of getting on somebody's YouTube video and typing out a rude comment or spending the time, like, I don't know.
What's funny to me is like, it doesn't come on Instagram. I don't get any mean comments on Instagram. It is only on YouTube. And what's so funny to me is like, we know our core community, right? The ones who are actually viewing our videos, like y'all are our core, I would say, Whispering Willow community. And we know you guys are so kind because y'all always stick up for us. But it's like, yo, homie, I am giving you free content, and if you don't like it, that's what cracks me up, is that they nitpick, and it's like, you realize this is free. This isn't a service that you're paying for. If you don't like it, you can just keep on scrolling or find another video that answered your question better. That's what's so mind-boggling to me.
I was raised different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I see something, depending on what it is, but if I see something I disagree with, well, that's their opinion. I'm not going to sit there and debate you, try to change your mind, whatever. I'm just going to keep moving on. But
yeah,
there's a lot of keyboard.
My mama said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
That's the way I was raised. I grew up in Mississippi, and that was the way I was raised.
Yeah. Sell you. Make me ill, Jill. Case in point. I'm feeling feeling feisty tonight, y'all.
You are feisty.
Hello, bonjour from Ontario, Canada. We got your book on my living room table, and my daughter thinks it's me on the cover. It's a real honor. Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. How can anyone say anything negative about you and your beautiful family? You guys live the best life, innocent life. Thank you. You know what it is, and this is what's funny to me. It's all kind of funny because we are very positive people. Like if you've met me in real life or on here, like I love to just breathe life into people. I feel like that is truly, someone told me the other day and it resonated. Someone goes, Jill, you're not just a grower of plants, you're a grower of people. And that stuck with me so much. As much as I love growing plants, I love nurturing and caring for people so much more. Like the fulfillment and the outcome is like life change. I think that's so cool.
That's your God-given talent. Honestly.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think what trips people up, and this is why I want to try to really work hard on changing the narrative. We're a one-income family. Nathan came home. He works for the farm. It's a massive blessing. There's a lot of sacrifices. That was a big pay cut for our family. And so it's like we have to pay bills. But I feel like we were very honest with our community early on of like, hey, this has to be a business thing. So I feel like that transition was very clear at the time I was selling produce. And so I made my audience very aware this is not a hobby farm. This has to be a profitable thing because my goal is to quit my job and come home. And I was able to do that. And then when Nathan came home, it was like, all right, Whispering Willow Farm is our life. We love it. It is our business and it has to generate income and profit, or I've got to go get a job. Nathan has to go get a job. And then we're living a life of that's not of fulfillment and not of purpose. And so I think where people are so negative is when we talk about a product in a video, or I send out a newsletter highlighting a product. Mm-hmm. That is how we make our money. It's not on YouTube. We make our money from our website. We make our money from, when I wrote the book, I got paid an advancement to do that. And so I think that that's where a lot of the negative comments come on is like, how dare you ask us to buy something? Or, oh, you're just sharing another product. You're like, yeah, I am, but it's a product that we curated and it's helping another small business owner. And we haven't just went and found,
some cheap shit from China, crap from China. Sorry.
Yeah.
I get fired up too.
Oh my gosh. Bless it. So that's where we get a lot of our hate from, is that we sell product, and I'm unashamed about it because it is how our family makes our income. But I think that a lot of the hate that we get is just revolved around the business aspect of what we do.
They just want everything free,
yeah.
free, and you do give so much. So.
That's great. We've been following you for some time now. We moved down to North Central Arkansas to start our homestead 6 months ago. That is so cool.
North Central Arkansas. All right. So we're practically neighbors.
Practically. Locate new tunnel near old one. No wall needed at that location now. Well, does that make sense to you? Mm-hmm. Greg, help us out. So one, we've already put the tunnel in place. So there's no moving the tunnel.
Near old one. It is.
It's pretty close, yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to tell on video, but our entire property is sloped like this. And so, even that tunnel back there that Jess and Maya put up, it sits at an angle like this.
Water pools in the back, right? So about anytime I go to wash it out, we have to take massive shop brooms, but then there's still like the end wall that's built out of wood. So it's like then we have to take buckets and try to get all that out from that side.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. I forgot what the grade is, but it's pretty intense slope. Mm-hmm. So
I've learned so much. I use your book and videos for inspiration. Thank you. Love it, Nathan. Backyard homesteader. I get it now. Greg said, okay. Negative people and just jealous. Wish they could experience a beautiful life like you all. Thank you.
Hey, it's beautiful. It's work, but we enjoy it. It's we're definitely seeing the fruits of our labor, but it's work. Mm-hmm. So.
No, I think it's staying in a place of it's like this fine line of contentment without being stagnant. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes for me, I'm always in the pursuit of the new thing. Like I get massive rush of adrenaline with new projects, and I like seeing something that was just an idea come to fruition. And so sometimes I can just be in pursuit of that. And then sometimes I have to realize, you know what, like we have come a long way for just like the two of us.
Mhm.
And sometimes there's a lot of beauty and contentment. And it doesn't mean that you don't want to move forward, but it just means really embracing where you're at. And I feel like we're in a
Yeah.
season of like, man, we really need to just be more content in the season that we're at. Because this is a season we prayed for many years ago.
That's right. Not take on too much. So
for sure. What would you do differently if you were just now starting to build your channel?
Channel?
Yeah, I would do less vlogs and more how-tos. I love the community we built so much. But as far as growth goes, we don't make a lot of money off of YouTube, and that's because our viewership isn't high because it's just our core committed community. And unless we clickbait you every single day, that's the only chance that our viewership is going to skyrocket.
Right.
But if I do how-to videos, it gets less viewership for my immediate audience, but we get paid more over time.
Over the years, it does better
because it's all keyword based and people are searching that thing. But it's really hard to fully make that transition because those of you who have, started following our channel because you're invested in our family, you don't really care so much about those how-tos. You want to know you want this, right? You want the behind the scenes, and it's a really hard balance. But I would say if I could go back, it would be more of that. And not that I feel like I need to protect my kids, but like our oldest, like we don't show her, and like out of respect for her mom and her wishes. And there's, it was just kind of like we had no idea where we would come and how things would evolve and how that would affect other aspects of our life. So I would say if we went back, me personally, I would try to keep it more just getting on teaching a specific thing in regards to growing food, homesteading, intentional living, things like that. What would you say?
And if you're starting out, just be consistent. Be consistent with what you're doing, the times you're posting, the days you're posting. Just be consistent. And what gets most people is there is a long period of time where there's no growth, and so they don't want to be consistent. They don't want to be, they don't want to show up every day, right? There's going to be a point in time where you feel like you're doing it for nothing, right? Right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Even sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh.
But if you stay consistent,
yeah,
it
depends on your goals, right? Like,
yeah,
our goal is community when it comes to this channel. And so that's why we do have other streams of revenue, like our website and things like that, and for some people, they can just vlog. Like they're captivating enough with their story. They built it enough. For us, that's just, I haven't ever really, I'm consistent, but as far as planning out content, that's where I struggle. And that's something where actually I took a YouTube course from an influencer who's really sweet. Many of you guys probably know her, Farmhouse on Boone, and she's very, very strategic with her content. And we've talked about having a better strategy with that. That way I'm serving you guys at the best level. I've just felt like lately I've been a little stretched thin. And so this has lacked. But I don't think we would ever, I'll still sprinkle in more how-tos, but I don't think I could ever move away from vlogs now. Maybe just be a bit more mindful.
And now it takes us less than 5 minutes to upload a 15-minute video where it used to take us 15 to 20, 24 hours.
Yep.
So
that was another thing. I would get so annoyed that it just was like, it was literally, we were in the red for as much time it spent.
Yeah.
And then no one else could work. So like if I was uploading a video, Nathan couldn't work shipping out orders or, responding to emails or whatever.
Everybody had to be off the internet.
Yeah. So I'm hoping now I have just a renewed, I actually feel excited right now to do content, which is, I think, a good place to be in. But if you ever don't feel that, any of you guys who have channels, take a break. If you're not doing it out of pure joy, they will know. I've shot videos and cried because I did not want to do them. And you're not filling anyone's cup when you do that. And so take time away, fill your cup up, come back with, just a renewed vision and get after it.
All right. I'm about to cook dinner because I'm hungry.
Okay, I'm going to answer one more question.
You answer this question.
Wait, don't leave when we got one more question.
What's it say?
Can I ask about the puppies? Did I miss a video?
Come get them. We've got 2 of the 6 spoken for.
2 of the 6 spoken for. Y'all, June brings these puppies in my house every
She'll go out there and just grab one and bring it in the house.
she picks them up like, I don't know if y'all caught the vlogs when our goats were babies, and she would like how she picks up these dogs, and I'm like, they're not goats. Like, that's not actually how you pick up every animal. They're so sweet. They're great. They're so great.
So great that they need another home.
They do need a home. If you're in the area, or even if you want to travel, we will gladly let you take one of these
Gift
puppies.
you one.
Gift you one of these puppies.
Yeah. Not
so
selling,
we now have them locked up in the goat yard because, I mean, obviously when they were younger, it wasn't really a problem, but Fern was getting out on the road and all the puppies were following her, which then resulted in one getting hit, which was tragic. So then we had all the puppies in the house. 6 puppies in the house. That's a lot of pee and a lot of poop. And but they kept digging out of the goat yards. So we spent a lot of time reinforcing. So now they're in the goat yard. Fern quit nursing them. She's completely dried up. They're eating food.
Yeah, they're ready to go.
They're doing so good. But yeah, the plan is to get rid of them all. I still think Nathan's cousin wants Fern. And they just recently lost their like lifelong pet, and so we would not get rid of Fern, but like they just connected when they were here from Colorado.
Yeah
And we would feel good about that. So I think that might be the plan later in the fall for them to make a trip down, and then we'll be back to
Colorado.
We'll be back to
Dogs
Simba,
from Colorado,
and Lily,
mm-hmm.
and no more. You know, yeah. Fern. We took Fern in. She was a mutt, bless her heart.
She's been a good one though.
All right. Keep on keeping on. Don't forget your light that guides you. Thank you. I love watching you 2 together. All the banter, the fun, and the love. Great answers. I appreciate it. Please hit the thumbs up. It really helps. Thank you. I love the content you produce, and I patiently await for what you have. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you, Charmaine.
Y'all are so sweet. What kind are they? It's a good question.
They do
have
they have Pyrenees in them.
They have Great Pyrenees in them. We're going to say it's like Great Pyrenees with a side of mutt. But they're cute. They're so cute. What happened to Dahlia? Someone stole Dahlia.
We don't know. We think that's what happened.
About 90% sure.
About 90%, yeah.
I was devastated.
Yeah.
I love that dog. I really did. We live in the sticks, which means people drop off animals all the time. And you have mischief teenagers a lot who drive by really fast with live music, like...
Yeah.
No bueno. So yeah, I'm over. I'm over the dog situation. We've had Lily and Simba forever, and I'm like, we just need to go back to where we started and just be content. Mm-hmm. We should write that word.
The problem is we have these amazing guardian dogs, right? But they would rather guard their front door than the sheep. And so, now we have complaints from UPS and Amazon drivers rather than them.
So, I mean, y'all have seen the garden gates to the raised bed garden, and there's hot wire too in the paddocks. Lily can dig out. She can go underneath the hot wire and dig out, which she does. And then Simba can clear. How tall do you think that fence is?
I don't know. It's
I mean, it's tall.
Yeah, it's 60-inch, no climb fence wire, horse fence wire.
Like, sheep climbs over that, which terrifies me because I am terrified our dogs are going to get hit because we cannot keep them in. I mean, we have literally tried
I've got to run a strand of hot wire at the top of the fence, not just the bottom.
Yeah. So that's what's new with us. Thanks for hanging out. Nathan's going to cook dinner. I'm going to get back on laundry. There will be a vlog out in the morning about us peach picking.
And
hopefully you guys will leave comments because I'm wanting to know how to preserve these peaches because they cost me $120 and they need to be used for something good. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. It has been such a joy. This has
been fun. Yeah.
We can actually see what's going on.
I know. Normally when we do these lives, everything's all grainy and blurry and you can't see anything. What's going on.
I know. So. But love you guys. Thank you. Have a beautiful weekend and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. Bye guys.